going on, everybody?
DeMario, what would you like to see the defense doing better? I mean, you guys had a pretty nice second half, but what would you like to see the defense doing better?
Just doing more of what we did in the second half. Just executing consistently. I think is pretty much what we just got to be able to do. When we execute, we do well. When we don't, we don't. We don't do so well. And so just being able to be consistent. I think that's the main thing for us.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was supposed to say, do you feel like, I guess, the slow start yesterday was kind of, how much of a hindrance was it?
I mean, you want to start fast, you want to finish fast. It's part of the game. You're not going to always be able to do that. Got to give credit to the Texans. They did some great things early on, that made it difficult on us. And, we were trying to adjust in the second half and feel like we did a pretty good job of that. But you got to give them credit. They ended up putting a better 4 quarters of football than we did. And, that's really what it was.
DeMario, some of your teammates mentioned last night that you talked to the team about accountability and looking in the mirror. Can you elaborate any more about what your message was to the team after the game?
It was just a post-game breakdown speech. It's part of the game. We do that. Just sharing an encouraging message to my teammates. That's a kind of an inside deal. So I kind of leave it there.
Do you feel like everyone's being accountable right now? Like, do you see that?
Yeah, we got a good group, and I feel like that's why we can have messages and things like that. Whenever we talk to one another, we can do that because we've proven that we're an accountable unit all the way around. We got great leadership in the locker room. Got some really good young guys who are hungry to learn and grow. And when you face games where it don't come out in your favor, it can be tough and it can be challenging, but you just keep doing what you're doing and go back to work.
I know it's a short week, but is the key to being more consistent than you have been? Does that occur prior to Sunday? I mean, is it all about the preparation during the week? I think you talked about that last year before the Rams game.
Yeah, I think that's across the league. The game, and really in most sports, the game is won before it's played, and so it really just comes down into dialing into the details that we're able to execute, so that we can execute, come game time. When the moments present themselves, we have to be able to capitalize, and when we do that, we're successful. When we don't, it's 50-50.
DeMario, execution seems to be the running thing when things aren't going the proper way, but 6 weeks into the season, how is execution continuing to be such a plague at this point?
I don't know if it's I wouldn't say a word like plague. Everybody's in a race to get better. And, I think we're sitting at 3-3, and we feel like we're a team that could be sitting at 6-0. That's just how we feel, and that's what the standard of our locker room is. But you got to give credit to these other teams. They've made it challenging on us, and they played good football. And I think that's the parity in this league, that week in and week out, you just got to be on your stuff. And it doesn't mean necessarily that we're not on our stuff or not executing, at a high level. And this another team can out-execute you, and that's what you want to work to prevent. And I think that's the grit of the week, is to be at your best, not just to do it at a high level.
How much of a hindrance is the short week? I know it's the same for both teams, but you chop down preparation, you chop down, body recovery time.
I think we're in a business of you just do what you got to do. And it's the next game up. Got to be ready to go. Ain't no excuses. Just find a way The biggest thing is to get your body back as quickly as possible. You know, you gotta expedite your film study. But I feel like if you can find a way to get recovered and get your body regenerated and have an understanding of what the other team is going to try to do and get an understanding of them, you know, that's what's going to give you the best chance to be successful.
Got time for one more.
How do you balance out the morale? I know you lose the game, but you only give up 20 points. How do you provide a proper message in the middle for the defense in that kind of a way?
I think our message is we just want to put on our best, play our best football. We did it a week ago. We didn't do it last week. And so we know we can. It's just about being consistent. And so, I mean, we know the formula. We know what works. It's just about dialing in and being able to do that consistently. All right, thank you, guys. Y'all be blessed.